Thank you, Yosef Yafi. Thank you. Kavish Protes, Kalaloshan, to any time. Erev El. In Novandik they said, Kishiyesh din lamata, ein din lamala. You want to Fashbarzach, a lot of tzaras. Now I want to tell you something. I mentioned this last time. I spoke to a Rebbe in Eretz Yisrael, and a Rebbe that have respect to Shemayim. I don't want to say who it was. A Rees. And I had to talk with him b'chlal. I mentioned Elul. He jumped. Stop with that. It's not for us. You're going to stop with this Elul business. It's not for us. Now I called Novandik. They said the same thing. And they said, without a suffix, watch what you're doing. You're going to start with this Elul. What do you want to do for the... And I heard this. Okay, now that's the Abishter himself talking. When I get to, and Novandik also should talk like that. What got into you? So, I have the message loud and clear. Watch out. Kotzker Rebbe said, Al tifnu la'lilim. Don't give me this L business. Now, I don't know why he said it. I'm choshed he said it because all year round you got to be shaking. If you're a Kotzker Chassid, he'll teach you how to do it. How to be all stressed out. The Emma says, now, I had different pshatim, do this and all, that and all. One thing, the biggest tshuva, somebody said a Gavaldi. Vani, sitting Yid, Mashinsky, his name was, the closing we call the tired Yid, and the Tarvadas Chever from Beit Shalim, very tired. He said, Vani, Kirvas Alikim, Li Taib. You want Kirvas Alikim, you want to be close to Hashem? Keep saying all day, Li Taib, everything's good, everything's good. That's the way Kirvas Alikim. Want to be close to Hashem? Keep saying, it's good, it's good. I like being depressed. Don't forget that one. That's one of my leading Chedushim. When I was Machadish to the universe. Depression is Gevaldik. I'll tell you how a pasuk in Mishlei. B'chol etzev yeh moisher. But all atzvus, it's good stuff. How's that? It's a pasuk. Shlomo Melech, you want to blame me on that one? Shlomo Melech, b'chol etzev yeh moisher. I'm just taking the beginning of that pasuk. Chol etzev yeh moiseh. All atzvus is good stuff. So get moving. Get depressed, everybody. What's going on? There's so many smiles around here. It's not a mahalach. I'm joking. Don't get carried away. Please don't take me. Don't ask how many people that I talk to are literal. I got to really watch what I'm saying. People call me, Rabbi Mendel, I just don't understand this. You said that you should get depressed. I just don't understand. This is ridiculous. You're not supposed to do that. Doesn't it say, wait, the calls are going to come in soon. They're going to bombard me from all over. How could you talk like this? What's going on here? Anyway, people have thanked me for that. Calms you down. So be depressed. But I will tell you something. The tshuva nowadays is, what's the tshuva? In other words, I was recommended to do when I was in France. You want to have an Elul? Here it goes. Boy, they're going to throw me out of here soon. I remember Rav Shalom Shadran was in Aguda Far Rockaway, going back 50 years ago at least. About 50 years ago. And the Olam was not our Olam those days. Everybody was a different world. It wasn't. And he said certain things that are not popular. And I'll tell you, want to know what he said? I'll tell you what he said. He said the Maisa with Elio Bahar Carmel. There were 2 oxen over there. And there was a Via Baal and a Via Hashem. And he was the only Navi Lashem. They were all killed down. There was terrible matzav. But Achav of Russia, but Zevel, terrible matzav. But he dealt with the 10 Shvatim. I want to tell you something about Eliyahu Navi. All the stories of Eliyahu Navi, he had nothing to do with us. We were the from ones, Yehuda and Binyamin. All he had to do was with Kiruv movement. Anybody want to know about Eliyahu Navi, what he was all about? He was into Kiruv. The first time I started learning about Eliyahu Navi in Tanakh, I was very, very, disillusioned. What's he doing with the 10 Shvatim? They were off the derek. They're all Ibn Avodah Zarah. Why does he deal with us? Is that something? Isn't that funny? What's wrong with the Fro? We don't need chizuk. Yehuda and Binyamin, they kept the Torah. They were good. That's us. That's what we're here. The 10 Shvatim and Nebuch. So all his time in Kaichas and everything, he was busy with those. What's the pshat? I just want to be married or something. I want to be married another zach. I remember Mechaba Weiss Mendel in Nitro Yeshiva. I don't know what the Nitro Chassidim are going to say when they hear this, but I'm telling you what I saw as a little child. I remember him. Mechaba Weiss Mendel, you know what a tzaddik he was? He built the Nitro Yeshiva right after the Holocaust. He was a malam right after a heart attack. He went weiter to build the yeshiva. There was nothing like him. He was the one, he saved so many Jews. He went straight over to one of the leading Nazis and spit in his face. You know that? I mean, in so many words. He wasn't afraid. He made deals with them. I'll get your money if you save Jews. He was a Gewaldig from Chobah Weissman. He sent messages to America. He tried to get them to drop some bombs on the railroad leading to Auschwitz so they shouldn't kill so many Jews. Because Auschwitz was they can easily kill thousands very quickly. But if you can't get to Auschwitz, you don't have that many bullets. You can't just wipe out people so quickly. So he wanted to stop Auschwitz from operating, to halt the operations. So he pleaded with the America, and he had maps for them. He was in Eliyotza. He had maps. He said, bomb over here, this spot, just one bomb, and that wipes out the railroad. It's going to slow them up for weeks. Will save thousands of human lives. He was begging Roosevelt. He wasn't a tzaddik, Franklin Delano Roosevelt. It's a chayzgalach. Him with Kennedy's father, they were a shayim in the White House. You know that? They weren't helpful. Anyway, so he begged them, and that's why he became such a Torkatanik, Shainemal, because he saw the response of the Zionists. They were shreklach. One cow in Palestine is worth all the Jews in Europe. No? One of those tzaddikim said that. That was a tiyanim. You wonder why he became an anti. Anyway, so Ramachaba Weissmandel, I remember him. Now when he cried at Tishbav, you thought the Churban Beis HaMikdash took place yesterday. He had a very low voice, a baritone. Right, the way he cried, the way he said Eicha, he was a man with depth. He was from a different world. Rabbi Sai, you don't know what Kavod HaTorah is. I witnessed. I was a little kid. My parents should have lichtig Gan Eden. I was a Harry. I'm a real Harry. I don't want to talk about my past. The Elam is going to say, oh, I didn't know Mendel is like Nebuch, one of those. Man, I am. What should I do? They didn't have yeshivas those days. My parents I went to a day school the first 4 years of my life in Far Rockaway, New York. Hebrew Institute of Long Island. I told you, my father taught over there. They had pictures of all of Tzienim, Jewish National Fund. They had their pictures over there together with plant a tree in Israel. You know, give. My father used to go around painting, give this guy a beard, give some payers. You don't have a yarmulke, we'll straighten you out. He used to play around with them. My father had a sense of humor. He laughed at all the chevra. He was a beard. He has a beard. Wow. I tell you, my father gets schar for all the beards. Now you have a beard. I'm very happy. It's a good thing. But when nobody's wearing a beard, I used to walk in the street. If a sheged saw a beard, he said, "Who's that guy? There's a beard." My father's sitting in Olam Haba. I told my father, he's Nigel Schar Kulam. The first beard, they say he was the first young beard in America. Probably another 10 people that hold that title, but he was for sure. Anyway, so Mendel. I used to watch him walking. He used to take walks. He used to walk in the forest. He used to have one of his kids he used to hold. There was a reason for it. I realize now he didn't just... one of his children he used to walk with. And then there were the Bachrim from Yeshiva. He would always walk. By the Achsida Sha'olam, if you don't have a beard, it's not so pashit. What's going on? You're okay? What are you doing? What's going on here? He used to always walk around with those types. You know that? I noticed that. He was always busy with them. And he walked around town. He used to walk. He used to take... That's who he walked with. Those guys. The guys that... And you don't chop. The mentality, at least the way my perception, those days, like, you didn't have a beard, it was over. Everybody had a beard, with the chsidish of the whole knack, with gekrazel tapayas, are you Jewish? Are you okay? I mean, that olam that I was exposed to, there was Samach Sidim, and the Rosh Yeshiva himself, was always parading with, taking walks with this guy without a beard, that guy without, those were his friends. It struck me, what's going on here? Okay, anyway. So Eliyahu Navi got involved with the Kir movement. Isn't that interesting? He was involved with the 10 Shvatim who are off the derech, the way we understand it. They're involved in Baal. Baal was a Yetzer Hara. You know why it's called Baal? Baal means an owner. It owned you. You were addicted. You didn't have a choice. You couldn't get rid of that Yetzer Hara of Avodah Zarah in general. If not for the Knesset Agdala, they saved us. For 3 days and 3 nights they were crying. Says, you gave us a Yetzer Hara in order to give us Olam Haba. We're all getting ahead of him. We can't deal with that. So Yetzer Hara of Avodah Zarah was beyond. So he told, how to get into this anyway. So he had the 2 oxen next to him, and he said, it's interesting. I'm getting older, and for the first time in my life, I'm starting to remember. I never remembered anything years ago. I used to forget everything. When I first started speaking, about 5 times in the middle of drasha, they had it. Where am I up to? Now, lately, with age, I'm starting to remember. So I advise, get older, and then your memory will improve. You think I'm joking? Zalzen cup. What? Oh, yeah, he's right. Oh, does he? Yeah, the Baron's on the ball. Chaim Tevim L'Shalom. Amen. To prove the point that I want to get to, I'm going to 100 different other stories till I'll get. And where did I get into this? So I remember the whole business. Rabbi say, vodka, let's go. Chayrash Chaydash Elul, vodka. We have to do tshuva for 3 things. Our Olam Paskin, tshuva for 3 things. Not enough vodka, not enough jokes, and not enough ice cream. So we're going to do tshuva on it right now. Start with the vodka. Vodka is the, I told you, the war in the Ukraine, I don't care who wins. The one that has the vodka got to win. Or else, who cares? But you got vodka, you got to win. We need you. Anyway, so I want to tell you like this, Rabbi say. So Baruch Hashem, as I get older, my sight is improving, my hearing is improving, and my memory is improving. Everything's going uphill. The older I get, thus I have a different mahalach with age. You know, I have a different mahalach. Everybody has mahalach. You know where you get your mahalach? I had several people on the phone recently who went to the doctor and they found who knows what. I says, why did you go to the doctor? And they found, scary stuff. Why did you go to the doctor? Because my friends told me, you got to check this and this, or else, who knows? So we're checking, and right now they found this. What are you going to the doctor for? What are you looking at? So many people. You know how many people I was sitting shiva for a guy. He said, what happened with your mother? Well, it all started when she went to the doctor. You know many stories like that? Somebody calls me up and says, I go to the doctor and my blood pressure soars. I says, no, whose blood pressure wouldn't soar? You're coming to the doctor. There goes your blood pressure. You're fine. You go. You don't even need the doctor to do it. You walk into the hospital. The ruach of the hospital will do the job. Just walk in there and they'll scare the death without saying anything. The way they're walking, doctors and nurses, and the patients being wheeled. This guy looks half dead, and this guy looks walk into a hospital. It's guaranteed. If you're not sick yet, we'll help you out. Come join the club. We'll teach you how to be sick. You'll get a lot of attention. Also, when you're sick, you'll get COVID. If you're missing COVID, one of the ways to get it is get tight, drunk, good and sick. Now look, sometimes the body have to go. I'm not making a chas v'shalom. Sometimes it's a mitzvah to go. But so often, my rabbeim have told me, avoid. I once went, and the blood pressure, Mr. Mendel, your blood pressure is not the way it should be. I called it my Rebbe. And I had a mazel. All my problems, I went to my Rebbe. You know that Shmuel HaNavi, Rabbi Miller speaks about it. When Shaul HaMelech, his father lost the donkeys. So he was looking all over for donkeys. Where do you go to retrieve your father's donkeys? You go to the chayzer. That's a Navi. Go to the Navi, he'll help you out. You know that? When I was sick in bed, I had a back trouble. Who do you call for back problems? I call Rabbi Miller. I want to tell you something about Rabbi Miller. Rabbi Miller, he had a certain discipline in the way he spoke. When he was on the phone with me for a half hour, where did he have a half hour to spend with this Meshuggah, this Yeshiva Bachon? He let down all his hair. He was a total different person. No more of that stuff. Well, let's see what we can do. His whole voice changed. I heard him for a full half hour. He was totally not Rabbi Miller. He was a total normal geschmack. He sounded like a Yidana. Like one of these, like my Bubby, like my Tanta Goldie. Mamish, what? I remember, that was my perception. What got into him? Because I was in trouble, and he wasn't going to do that with me. Well, no. This guy's in trouble. And I had just heard a tape that he said that when you're in trouble, go to the Daily Torah. They'll help you out. So I called him up right there. I had trouble with my back. He gave me holeitza. He said, I also had that problem. And don't worry about it. Yeah, here's Gavaldi. Told me to do something I couldn't be. It wasn't easy for me. Anyway. So, what was I talking about? Let's get back to what we're up to. I need some more vodka to move to... With the two oxen. What? With the two oxen. Two oxen. Two identical oxen. And Leonovi tells the two oxen. Two oxen, yeah. Okay, you go to the Abal. They're gonna shecht you. You guy come to me. And whichever one gets the fire coming from your God, that's the real God. So they had under the ground. Chil was one of their chevra, Achav's best friend. He was a Russia, and Chil was going to strike a match under the ground, and it's going to light up everything. No one saw him, and they kept saying, Chil, get moving on it. And Chil, snake came and bit Chil. That was the end of him. And they started screaming, and nothing happened. And that's when Leo Navi said, oh, how's your God doing today? He can't get fire. What's wrong? Is he in the bathroom? That's where you learn how to joke. Leo Navi. By the way, it's a Mefurish Gemara. Do not start learning Torah before you make a joke. Who said that? Who said it? Abai Rabba. Rabba in Average B'Zultem. Where's that? It's Average B'Zultem. You want it? Melsa B'Dichusa. You're saying I'm making up new stuff? Making jokes is new? What are you going to do with the Gemara? I go like Chazal. I don't know about you guys. Chazal say joke. So I go like Chazal. I don't know. You guys are new Menhagim. Now you're going off the derech. They learn, but they put jacket around. Oh, you're off the derech. Chazal say you're supposed to joke. Then you can start learning. So I like Chazal. I say Chazal say you don't start without milsa b'dichusa. So that's the way I go. That's my mahalach. L'chaim tayim l'shalom. So you have to be careful not to get with the new drachim. You can't be modern. You have to stick with the old to crack jokes. But it's not a joke. It's not a joke. My jokes are built on all the tzaddikim I observed. Every one of my jokes are so. I did a lot of research in how to make a good joke. I watched the Mashgiach. I remember the way he was rolling. He used to daven for hours on Rosh and Yom Noraim. And then he saw his anacle crying. He comes into the house. Lebanon, he was Geshmak. And he says, oh, you're crying. Rosh Hashanah, it's a good stuff to cry in Rosh Hashanah. He started laughing, it's a big Indian to cry in Rosh Hashanah. Little kid was crying. He had a joke about everything. Mashgiach. They knew how to joke, believe me. There's a picture of Mashgiach, Rabbaran, and I think, who was the Purim Rav? Moshe Hirsch, who was it? Who was the Purim Rav? He had a mask on. He had a fake beard and a langa payas. He was sitting in the middle. Reb Aaron Kotler's here. Reb Nosson Bachfelgel's here. And I don't know what happened. I just saw the picture. But all I know is Reb Aaron and Reb Nosson were rolling. They were laughing their heads off. I saw this. No, what's going on? Why is the Yolam stick to the Amoliga? Amoliga used to joke. I stick to the past, I don't go with new stuff like this. Anyway, I don't want to say who it was. I will not say who it was, because it's not. I did a lot of research in Gedolei Yisrael. The Alta from Novandig, Shimush Talmidei Chachomim is number one. I put a lot of cases. I watched one big guy with Hashem, the way he was davening Shachris. And I watched the way certain parts he just ran through, the other parts he was going strong. And I told myself, like the Torah L'Machei you got to be every bit of Shachris, you got to crack up. So I'll put all my cases in those Yashir, let's say. I saw this with my own eyes. Watch them. I watched the way Reb Chaim Kanevsky daven. He didn't look like he was like all stressed out. But wow, whoever saw Reb Chaim Kanevsky daven, he was Shema. He wasn't a frum type at all. You have to understand, the Gadol Ador made Buha famous. Like, what's going on? I hold it to Siman Hashemayim. The Gadol Ador could go around with Buhas. It's a sign for us. That's Kizeh Re'ei Mekadesh. This is for us. Chill out. Let's stop. Chaim was Freilach. He was Gavaldi. Anyway. By the way, you're allowed to learn too. The way Reb Chaim learned. Ishkefalach. Learning Yom Halayla, it won't hurt either. Hope the Yom understands me. Anyway. So, what was I saying? So the two oxen got together And Eliyahu Navi said, okay, let's go. You guys are going. We're going to just find out who's the Yebishter, who's the real God over here. Told, okay, you ox, you're going to the Habal, the 400 Ishoyim over there. They used to eat by Izebel's table. Izebel was the wife of Achab, of Russia. She's the one that made him into a Russia. She was bad news. Big Rashanta. So, the Vayiftach, Rav Shalom Shulchan told over the story in a good and far. Vayiftach Pares Piv Le'enei Kol Yisrael. He opened up his mouth in front of everybody. Did you hear that? And the ox started talking. And the ox said, us two come from the same mother. We both ate the same grass. We went to the same stable. We drank the same milk. Why is my friend going to you, Eliyahu Navi, and I got to go with those bums? It's a chazal. So Eliyahu Navi said, because just like there's going to be a Kiddush Hashem to your twin brother, because the fire was going to come down from Shemaim and burn him, there's going to come a Kiddush Hashem through you too. When no fire comes, when they shecht you and put you on their fake mizbeach and nothing's going to happen, you're going to be causing Kiddush Hashem. So Chazal say, the ox did not listen to Eliyahu Navi. It says the ox stuck his feet to the ground. He said, I'm not moving from here. Until Eliyahu Navi had to lift him up. I'm not sure. Whatever that Chazal said, he had to force him to go. This is the time when they introduced him. I was standing there. They said, we would like to present Hagoyim, Hagodol, Reb Shalom Shadran. As soon as he said Hagodol, he went like this. He was heavy. As soon as he said Hagodol, he went like this. So my jokes are built on the past. If I say certain things, I figure out what would they do. I'm doing that too. I'm just mahader a little bit, you know. Shafid Adar. In my time, the Gadol Adar did not say Bua. That's really new stuff, you know. But anyway. So what happened? So Reb Shalom Shulchan is standing, he says, Rabbi Sai, why didn't that ox go over straight to the V'yabal? He said, he said a good word. Shem Sheniskad, Shem Shemayim al Yadi. He said a good word. You know why he said? He said, now I'm going to say something in a minute. And he went, I remember the way he went. He says, you see that window up there? And he says, he went with his hand like this. You're going to want to throw me out right through the window. Wait till I say this. Uh-oh, what's he going to say? So, here goes. So he said, the ox did not want a Kiddush Hashem with kunst. But it's also a Kiddush Hashem. I don't like that stuff. I want straight, the real stuff, and don't bother me with these. And then he said, we'll go to college, and then we'll become a big Talmud. And then we'll be able to help people. But first we'll do some stuff that the Gedolim don't really help from. And then we'll do it, but it's going to work out good anyway. He didn't like that stuff. That's what he said. I was there. And they were sitting there. It was a different world. You didn't talk like that those days. That was before Lakewood was Lakewood. Before those days it was like, is he okay? You know? He was a little bit, he was. So I'm going to say something too. Where's the window? You're going to throw me out here soon? Come inside, let's go! Up by side. It's Elul, there's more room. Mishtachim Ravachim. It's Eis Ratzon, come inside. I just want to say one thing. Elul in Nevada. What did Elul look like? I do want to tell you something about Elul. Don't think I was there. I wasn't in Novandig. But in Novandig they said, And Reb Nosson, hey, come inside, let's go, guys. There's room. Yeah, I'll give you up front, right next to Jack. Jack is almost... Anyway, so Kishayesh din lamata, ain din lamala. If you're going to sit down, see, I do want to tell you, as much as I want to chill out in Elul, and I'm encouraging it, and I really mean it. And I met somebody 3 years ago when I said, tshuva means more ice cream. So at least 2 Israeli Jews that I bumped into said, Mendel, because of you, take a look in my freezer. It's packed with ice cream. We heard you. I says, oh no, these guys are taking me serious. You know? And I heard there's a few chavos, so I got to watch what I'm doing around here. But anyway, I was on the phone with a guy there are serious problems with his wife. She's got physical things. It's always going wrong. I don't want to say what. And I was talking to him, and he was on the phone. Rabbi Mendel, now, the problem is this, and the problem is that. You know, people don't want to call me, because they know the Elohim going to hear about them pretty soon. I'm joking. So the guy says, and he was very, very, very intense. He was like, and I says, something tells me, and I really hold, the reason why his wife is having, first of all, he assured me that his wife is just like him. Same mahalach. We're both. And I said, something tells me I don't like your bedikas chametz. That's what I told. I guessed it on the telephone. I don't like the way you're doing bedikas chametz. Tell me the truth. How long does it take you? On the face to the left. He says, it takes me 8 hours. I says, now I see where the problem is. 8 hours bedikas chametz. Now, for some people, that's a mitzvah. For some people, it's not so pashut. It might be a ticket to gotta straighten out a little bit. You know, what's the matter with you? 8 hours bedikas chametz. Now he has trouble with this kid, and that kid's going off the derech, and this kid is depressed, and that, you know, you wonder, what are you doing? So you gotta be careful. Sometimes it works. Don't give it up if it's working. And sometimes you better change around. I says, my friend, you should spend 8 hours with bטחון and cheer up and laugh at all your problems and don't be so stressed. Don't be, you know how many people I have to tell not to be from? I never thought I'd be like this because I, by nature, am super from. I still have it in me. Watch it with me. I still have it. I have to swallow a lot of stuff that I see the young generation doing, and I say, uh-oh, here they go again. Don't say nothing. So I still am a little bit, but I changed a lot. The Novandigas did a job on me. You believe me? It says, I wrote Baal Tosef and Baal Tigra in the same pasuk. Baal Tosef is just as bad. What's wrong? He wants 5 boxes in film. He wants 5 tzitzis. He's a tzaddik. And you're in the same boat as the Baal Tigra, as the guy that's taking away from the Torah. He's chilling out, he's modern, he doesn't know, you don't have to do this, do that. That's Baal Tigra. Same boat. You know, in Parshas Re'eh, there's a lot of treifa birds. I have a case for the birds. A bird is brought down. One of the Mefarshim in the Chovos HaLevavos brings down. A bird is a lofty creature. A bird is up in Shemayim. In Kodesh HaKadoshim, you have wings. You know that? A bird means, the Malachim have wings. Wings means you're one of the, you want to hear something about? So it means, guess what the Nazi emblem was? An eagle. They also like birds. A Bilam flew up in the sky. You know that? And Bilam was taka from. I'm not doing anything without the Eibishter. Take a look at the Psukim. It's hard to figure. Is he really so bad? You know, look at the way he talks. He talks so from all the time. You got to be very careful with a lot of from stuff. There's a lot of birds of prey. Nasty birds. Wicked birds. They have these, they have, what do they call the talons? Are they vicious? They could crush. Some of these birds can kill a baby deer by attacking and just squeezing it. It's done. They're vicious, those birds, with the beaks, and they eat each other up. You know that? They're mean animals. These eagles, ospreys, vultures, they're nasty creatures. And they live in the sky, right next to the Eibishter. You ever hear of jihad? They're from. I have an Arab that loves me a lot. You ever hear from that Arab anymore? There's an Arab that watches me. He said, Mendel is the answer to what we need in this world. First of all, he's not too from. And he hates from. That's the first thing he said. He hates from. Religion is over because he watches them in action. The frumma, they are the fundamentalists. They're the worst. Achzorim. They have no rachmanis on anybody, the frum guys. The real, what they can do, I don't want to talk about it. But they have no rachmanis. Crusades. You ever read about the Crusades? You know, they say Rabbeinu Tam, he walked in the street one day and a crusader gave him 9 head wounds. You heard about it? And he gave him a horse for a gift. He said he got himself out of it. You know, those days, they said if the father left the home and he came back alive, they benched Gimel every time, because I myself had 2 Russians in my house who never knew their fathers. Right after, when, we're going back 40 years ago when Russia opened up. So we met all these guys who the fathers had been through, you never knew his father, The killed Kiddush Hashem. What are you talking there? These are all frummies. Crusades were from Goyim. That's what happens when you get from. So frumkeit could be a sickness. You got to watch it. So Elul, watch what you're doing. Sometimes you got to go with different. You need a Rebbe. You know what my Rabbeim did to me? I was from until I went to my Rabbeim. I used to criticize certain things that not such. I don't have certain Yetzirahs that other people do. They do things that are, and to me, I can't stand it. And my Rabbeim put me in my place. You have to understand other people, If you're not going to understand other people, you're going to look down at them. I saved the marriage. I had 2 people sitting here killing each other. Mamish, they were good at it. I had a few like that already. One of them is improving tremendously, Baruch Hashem. They're starting to get more positive. Now, one of them I just couldn't deal with. The criticism against the spouse was Shreklach. One says, okay, I got news to tell you. I want to get you more positive. Well, we have to be honest. Yeah, we heard that already. Got to be honest. Now I said like this. If you're critical on another person, did you ever hear Chazal call a paisel b'mumay paisel? You ever hear that? That means you got a problem. Why do you know there's something bad? The Chassidus Yisraelim say, you're makavala tuma. You see bad. Now I see bad. Everybody sees bad, but don't advertise that you're not so kol paisel type. That's what I say. That's first of all. Second of all, you're going to come to the next world. I wonder what's better to be in the next world. A tzaddik who sees bad all over, or not such a great guy who sees good all over. I wonder what's better. Because up there they're going to say, okay, and you come up there. You know how many times I finished Shas? You know how horrible learning? Me? And do you know the chesed I did? What a titkis, bedakta b'mitzvahs. My Krishma, every word was gold. Ask anybody. I was the best guy in yeshiva. They said, okay, good, we know about you. We've been watching you all your life. We just one question to ask you. What's your opinion of so-and-so? Oh, him. He doesn't learn. And him, his davening. And this guy. Now, you ready? This is what we think of you. You're not so great. You had a good head, big spiel. You said you must be, because that's your nature. It doesn't mean a thing. That wasn't Shem Shemai. They'll kill you. If you were down like Kaf Chay, you were critical, they're going to kill you up there. It was better off. Now look, you don't have to throw away Kol HaTorah Kula. But if you were a little bit, Not so, but you're him. He doesn't mean it. This guy's l'shem. I hold these l'shem shemayim, especially if you're working on it. Oh, we have a high opinion of you too. Guess who said this? Chavetz Chaim, l'shem Chazal. You get done them like that. Now don't throw away Kol HaTorah Kula and become a ganze Kal. Do me a favor. It's not going to work. But be done like Kapschus. Altum Salbotkis Eitzer. Yom Noroyim. Be done. Everybody Kapschus. Especially groups. Groups. If I like Lakewood, how many thousands of people are in Lakewood today? 5,000? 10,000? 100,000? What? Oh, the yeshiva guys, 100,000 mitzvahs I got in one shot. I don't like those Lakewood guys. You know what you just did now? You got problems, my friend. 100,000 Averis. Don't mess up with groups. Oh, this Hasidist, then not so this. You're playing with fire. Let's make it clear. We hold from everybody. By the way, some people are nechshel and Kol HaTorah Kula. And that's why they're defending everybody. Oh, it's not so bad. I have the Yitzhak too, you sure do. That's your whole problem. That's why you're so busy defending everybody. The Alter speaks about that. Some people are into defending a little too much. Okay, anyway.